Hello, thank you for the introduction, Ben. It's nice to see everybody here. Again, my name is Cameron Reed. I'm the Esports Business Development Manager for Ross Video. Take just a brief moment to introduce myself. Don't want to take too much time because we've got a lot of interesting things to discuss today. I started working in esports in 2012 here in North America in a dumpy little studio in Rancho Cucamonga, California, which makes me kind of old school in esports, which is bizarre since I've only been in esports for 8 years, and here I am. I'm an elder statesman in my new and exciting industry. Today we're going to be talking about whether esports is a complement or a competitor to the traditional football activities and teams and leagues and media holders and stuff. We've got an expert panel, which is comprised of a wide array of people who are involved in soccer, as I would call it, as a member of the United States over here, or football. So we'll start with introductions of the entire panel, and we'll sort of take it from there. We'll again try not to take too much time on the introductions. If everybody would mind introducing themselves. Paul, we'll start with you.
Cameron, as mentioned in the intro, my name's Paul. I'm the marketing manager for Goal. We're the world's largest digital football destination, I like to say. As part of this, clearly we cover the game that goes on the actual pitch, but we've also been covering the virtual pitch for a number of years now, working with the likes of EA, with clubs big and small around what they've been doing with esports, which is mostly FIFA when it comes to football teams. And we did a couple of years ago also enter a team ourselves, which was an experience and proves how difficult this industry really is. But yeah, that's our backgrounds. We're hoping to continue covering the FIFA Global Series and other events next year in whatever shape they come in.
All right, thank you. And Mike?
Yeah, Mike, I'm head of esports at Ajax, and I work now for 5 years at the club. And I saw esports grow from what it is 5 years ago when we started with it to what it is today, where we work on with a whole division of 8 people, working on developing the esports part, where on one hand, on the performance side, with a team manager, with a fitness coach, with 4 professional players from all over the world. On the other side, a commercial team who's helping brands to getting their goals as well as our goals, of course. And to get to the subject is that we really use esports as a complement to our marketing strategy, where Ajax stands, of course, for a club who's famous because of our youth, because of our youth academy, and because the way we play with dominant and attacking football. And more or less, we want to do the same in esports, where we will announce the next couple of weeks, but I can share a little bit already, is that we're going to launch an application called the Ajax Gaming Academy, where FIFA players from all over the world, from like casual players playing on their couches with friends till really competitive guys, can play tournaments. Well, that's not new, but also can develop their talents, what is, of course, really part of our DNA as a club. Their FIFA skills through tutorials and through talking to other FIFA players to learn from each other and from our professional FIFA players.
Right, and Nuno.
Hi guys, so I'm Nuno, Chief Marketing Officer for the Portuguese Football Federation. And within marketing, we are also responsible for the esports division, more specifically eFootball. So something we've been doing with a lot of passion and putting a lot of resources into for the last 4 years, I would say, developing eFootball in the country. Right now, we have one of the largest eFootball ecosystems in the world, certainly in Europe. And this goes right from the bottom of the pyramid, so developing grassroots programs, attracting new talent into eFootball, all the way to the top as we run eFootball national teams, obviously participating in FIFA E-Nations Cup and UEFA E-Euro and all types of competitions. We are also responsible for organizing domestically leagues, cups. So all the football activity is currently consolidated within the Portuguese FA. And we treat eFootball exactly as we do with futsal, women's football, beach soccer. So we are applying the same level of service and of commitment as we do with the other traditional sport.
All right, thank you. And last but certainly not least, Luca.
Hi, nice to meet you. My name is Luca. I'm an international business officer at Levante Unión Deportiva, a Spanish La Liga club, and at the same time I'm the head of esports. I fell in love with esports 4 years ago. I participate a tournament with Ajax, with Sampdoria, with Sporting Club Portugal, and I understood the potential of this huge. I speaking about marketing possibility, and we use as a Levante, and we think on eSport as a complement. For us, it's a way to connect with people all around the world and let the brand of Levante Unión Deportiva growing all around the planet. We are a small team, so we never. Hopefully, one day we will win a title, a Liga. I mean, football. Speaking about football, but it's very difficult. So we try to win something with esports. So we started this way, and I can say proudly that in Spain we are recognized as the best team on FIFA in esports. So I'm very proud of that, and I'm very happy to be with all of you here.
All right, well, we're very happy to have you. And, you know, Nuno, or I'm sorry, you make a perfect segue for me where you're saying we believe that it is a compliment, because all the panelists and I were on a call yesterday to prepare for today, and we all unanimously agreed esports is a complement, not a competitor to football activities. And so I wanted to start with talking about, so what are your individual strategies for esports? And Paul, I know from the media side of things, you've probably got a slightly different strategy than like the clubs or the federations. And you had even mentioned that you guys fielded a team of your own last year. So Paul, tell us a bit more about your company's strategy to pursue esports.
So the team thing was a couple of years ago. It was an experiment, and it did prove it's quite difficult finding the right players, the right mix of players. You know, there's a great deal of difference between somebody who's very, very good at FIFA and somebody who is very media ready, let's say. And I think all the guys here probably agree, it is so competitive. One of our players I won't go through the logistics about how the system works, but to qualify for the tournaments, you can be a hair's breadth away from qualifying, and not making it or making it can make a huge difference to your career. It's very, very tough. This kind of, I'm trying to do my own segues here. This does kind of segue with some of the questions we're talking about today, with regards to how it complements what traditional football clubs do. And I think one thing we'll have learned from this is that it's basically, don't be afraid to work with people who really know their stuff. They're esports orgs and agencies who can help you out a great deal. Our own strategy really is that we've seen FIFA for years on goal to be a huge driver for traffic for us. It's enormous throughout the year when FIFA launches and all other times throughout the year. So covering the competitive scene was a way for us really to do it in a slightly different way and engage our fans in the best of FIFA, the way people are the pro scene. If you're going to watch football, you want to watch the best people playing football. So it kind of makes sense really to kind of look into this. But at the same time, we have also integrated that within our traditional FIFA content as well, because it's not worth make no bones about it. The broader spectrum, whether it's Ultimate Team or just playing career mode, whatever it might be, that has got an enormous audience, and the esports audience is relatively small compared to it. So we need to make sure that we're kind of doing both things at the same time.
Yeah, and so now you bring up an interesting point too that we discussed. And Nuno, I know that your federation has an interesting strategy when it comes to, we think about esports sometimes and we get stuck in thinking about it the way that we think about professional sports, right? but there's so much more to it. For every professional football athlete, there were at least 1,000 who never made it to that level, but who still love the game and have a really deep passion for it. And I know that your federation has an interesting strategy for kind of developing that ecosystem and engaging those fans. Could you tell us a little bit more about what you've been up to in Portugal?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think overall as an organization, our goal is really to inspire and serve boys and girls who have a real passion for the sport of football. If they want to, if they want to join the sport through eFootball, that will be a gateway we want to offer them, and that's definitely something which is aligns with the rest of the organization's mission. Within eFootball specifically, we have developed an ecosystem which allows for grassroots programs to be developed. So we are always offering competitions, tournaments, opportunities for people who play FIFA or PES at their houses. They're not really part of a team. We have competitive spaces where these people are welcome, and we offer them a gateway into the sport. Obviously, then we also have a more, I would say, professional, semi-professional environment, competitive environment, where we have currently 300 registered clubs within the Portuguese FA. And this is a mix of traditional football clubs. So you've got here two great examples, Ajax and Levante. But then we also have gaming entities or esports teams who have no connection with the traditional football club. And all of these organizations, they're welcome to join our ecosystem and compete in harmony with each other. Obviously, the bigger is the base of participation, the more boys and girls we can have involved in our competitions playing football, the more quality we will have at the top. So when it's time to recruit the best players in the country to represent us as a national team, the bigger the base, the best the chance we will have to have quality players. I think we've noticed a massive leap in quality since 4 years ago until now. And last year at FIFA Nations Cup, our national team came third in the world, something we would have never expected to happen in such short amount of time, because our base previously was very, very low. And with this strategy, really nurturing the sport, nurturing the talent and giving them an opportunity, everyone is welcome. We've managed really to grow numbers and then grow the quality of the talent. So that's really been our strategy and our passion when it comes to football development.
Well, thank you for that. And you bring up an interesting point, which I think is a perfect pivot to talk to Mike and Luca about their strategies for esports, which is that esports has existed for a while now. Like I said, I've been in it since 2012, but FIFA is a relatively new addition to the overall esports circuit. And so as such, since it's been around for a while, there already are teams that specialize in esports, and they have rosters for League of Legends or Counter-Strike or Dota 2 or Fortnite or any of the other kind of potential games they could be competing in. So now complement or competitor, I think, is a very interesting angle. And Mike, we'll start with you. Tell us a bit about your strategy for eFootball, and then how specifically as well you work with or maybe compete with some of the more traditional esports organizations like your FaZe Clan or other sort of esports teams like that.
Yeah, it's definitely a good point, because we're definitely competing with esports team as well as clubs, because FIFA is open for every organization who wants to compete in it. If I want to start tomorrow an esports team and I got a really good player, then he can compete on the highest level if he is good enough, which is I really like to the infrastructure of the FIFA esports scene. But what we do is we split in esports and casual gaming, so to speak, is that we focus on FIFA. That's our only game we do at the moment. And we like focusing on, like I said, one side on the esports side with professional players, with a whole staff who helps them develop their talent, and of course with a media team around them who is social, make it all open for social and share it and everything for our fans, which I think is really important to as a footprint to make it as an evidence to that you are actually working on esports as a really important part of your organization, and that you are working on the esports and FIFA industry, branding your heroes, like the future rock stars. And on the other hand, we are focusing on the more casual player. So the player who is like playing FIFA a lot, because FIFA is like one of the biggest title in gaming, but not necessarily in esports, because it's still quite small in there in comparison with League of Legends or Dota or the big esports titles. It doesn't fill stadiums yet. Maybe it will come, but it isn't the case at the moment. So what we do is we focus on the casual player as well, where we create tools, on one hand on content together with our partners, for example, with tournaments or with cool content formats or whatever. We did, for example, a talent show with one of our biggest partners, Ziggo, who's a cable company and stands for entertainment, where we were looking for the next big FIFA star, sort of a talent show, where the winner of that tournament, and it was on 3 months on a weekly basis, the winner get a contract at Ajax as a real professional FIFA player. So basically the dream that every boy or girl who's playing FIFA got. And on the other hand, like I mentioned, like in my introduction already, is that we got the Ajax Gaming Academy for the more casual player who's playing with friends on the couch, who try to help them develop their skill to or get better in the weekend league, which is a tournament in the weekend on a more competitive scale, but also with when you're playing a tournament at home with your friends on the couch drinking some beers to actually win that tournament. So it's all on all different levels. We want to be relevant as a football club to in the end get them in connection with Ajax and to make them a Ajax fan.
All right, and Luca, same question. It seems like you may compete with the esports organizations on the field, but do you compete with them in the business arena as well?
Yes, we compete with them, but I wanted to maybe introduce a bit our strategy, because it's maybe something different today, because we started with the idea of involve our fans bases here in Valencia, in Spain, and still our focus. But at the same time, we realize that with not a huge investment, as you can think about football, we could start to win title and put Levante on FIFA maps. So we realized that we had to make a turning point, and we signed one of the best FIFA player in the world, that is Maestro, because our idea is to win. I'm happy that there are many fans that want to play with Levante shirts, but in our opinion now, the best important things is to bring title to Levante. So I think this is something different, no? You know, with the clubs here in Spain, or many clubs that I know. I'm not hide myself beside anything. I mean, we want to win. So our strategy is we should win something this season.
Well, it's an interesting, point that it brings up, and it looks like we may be having a connection issue with Luca there. But as soon as we get you back, we'll let you finish your point, Luca.
Because I think that with title.
Okay, so he brings up an interesting point, right? That we discussed, which is currently marketing teams have been the ones kind of running things for most football clubs, federations, media holders who want to get involved with esports. But, Luca is talking about a really interesting angle, which is that they're more about winning, right? So do you think that maybe the performance teams or even compliance and integrity teams should start to get more involved in esports? Or do you think marketing will continue to sort of drive the business for the more traditional organizations?
I mean, as we're going across here in a little order.
Go for it, Paul.
As a publisher, we're not blessed with the multitude of departments that obviously Luca and Mike and Nuno might have.
No, not me, Mike.
What we did have, one thing we focused on was content creation as well. I think that's important as well. So you've also got you've got whoever manages your social accounts, your publishers, your content creation teams. Not everyone who plays FIFA at professional level is a great content creator, and vice versa. But I think you need to incorporate then your strategy about who you're looking for. There are some teams who have got. I mean, a good example might be somebody like Mike LaBelle, who works for EA as one of their analysts. He represents new Red Bulls, but he's a great FIFA player, but he's primarily a content creator. And considering the times we're operating in at the moment, it is useful to have kind of multiple strings to your bow. And if your content creation teams can work with your esports teams, then you're kind of covering yourself as well, depending on what the future might hold.
Yeah, Cameron, I was going to add that because you raise a great point there. And yes, today, I think from most examples I see around, whether it's a federation, a club, a lot of the esports projects sit currently within the marketing divisions. And that's really because it all began more from a commercial side of things. So obviously we're talking about FIFA or PES. These are titles that are owned by private companies. And at the beginning, we've had to develop partnerships and do licensing deals with these organizations. And marketing was obviously the leading team conducting these conversations and kind of setting up the project. What we've done here currently, we've really brought in a lot of the know-how from the other teams who actually look after the traditional side of sport. So to give you an example, when we have the national team for eFootball preparing for a big tournament, they do medical exams, just like our A team, just like Cristiano Ronaldo and Bernardo Silva. So the same people who do the medicals for those guys, they are doing the medicals for our team. The kit manager for the team. So the guys had to travel last year to London to compete in the FIFA Nations Cup. So we have the same support from that team, making sure they've got all the kit ready, everything is ready. Our integrity and compliance team is now very much involved in this work as well, because as you know, these competitions are becoming more and more important. There's big prize monies involved. Betting will be something that we will see soon, I think, see more attached to eFootball. And therefore, we've started to pull in all the know-how from these divisions that work with the traditional side of sports, and they're now supporting our eFootball component as well. I think in the future that will be.
Sorry, I hate to cut you off, and I hate to make an Irish exit here, but we do have, I think, about 20 seconds left. It's been a really great conversation. I'd love to keep it going. So everyone in the audience, all of us on the panel will still be available to answer questions. So please reach out if you have more. I know that there's so much more we could talk about, but for now, again, we do have to turn it back over to Ben in the studio. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. Appreciate it.